Greetings once again, and welcome to my fourth video in my series on stock market gambling. As promised in my last video, this time I will be going over the various sell orders that are supported by the Robinhood app. So let's get right into it, shall we? So as I showed you before, these are the three stocks that I currently own: CHRS, UWTI, and OAS. Now let's assume for the moment that I want to dump CHRS. I want to sell it. As with buying, there are 4 order types that are supported by Robinhood that you can use to sell a stock. So first, in our watch list, we click on CHRS. That, amazingly enough, will bring up the CHRS screen. Now, here I've scrolled down a little bit so that you can see the buy and the sell buttons right here. That, amazingly enough, brings you to the CHRS screen. And I've scrolled down a little bit on the screen so that you can see the buy and the sell buttons. Go ahead and click on the sell button, and that'll bring you to this next screen that I show you. Robinhood offers the same 4 order types on the sell side as it does on the buy side. And also, like the buy side, the market sell is the default. Like the market buy, the market sell will sell the stock immediately at whatever is the best available price it can get. As is the case with the market buy, the market sell has no added protection in the order. In other words, it'll sell for whatever it sells for. So for example, the quote price on a stock may be $40 per share, but if you put in a market sell, the stock may only sell for like $39.50 per share. Instances like this, however, should be quite rare. And the reason for that is that I will be recommending that you buy high volume stocks only. Basically, with high volume stocks, it is much more likely that your trade will go down smoothly without getting any unexpected results. This is because the higher the volume, the more likely there is a trader out there that is willing to take either side of the trade that you want. So for example, when you go to try to sell a stock for $40 per share, there's probably somebody out there that's going to be willing to pay, say, $39.98 per share. The market sell, however, is still a last resort type of order. What we're hoping for is that your strategy has caused you to be able to sell the stock in a more favorable fashion already before you get to the point where you absolutely feel that you have to sell your stock. Now, the limit sell order is basically the most favorable way to sell your stock. The limit sell order cannot get any unexpected results. This is because you specify going in what the minimum amount you are willing to receive when selling your stock. So if you put in a limit order to sell your stock for $40 per share, it's going to sell for at least $40 per share. And the only unexpected results would be is if you sold it for more than that, which is obviously okay. So generally what you will be doing is putting in a limit order for an amount that's higher than the current quote price of your stock. So for example, you might have a stock that's currently selling at $40 per share, and you might put in a limit order to accept a price of no less than $41 per share. As soon as the stock reaches that price, if it does, your stock will automatically sell for at least $41 per share. Now, the stop limit order, well, never, ever, ever, ever do it, period. End of story. Don't use this order. How this order works is you put in a stop limit to the amount that you're willing to take on the downside to supposedly to protect yourself against losses. For example, your $40 stock, you might put in a stop limit order to sell it if the stock falls down to $38 per share. However, the stop limit order also puts a limit on that. So for example, you put in a stop order for a $40 stock to sell at $38. That puts in a limit, that triggers a limit order, and then say you put in the limit of taking a minimum of $37.50 per share. Well, the problem here is if a stock gaps down really quickly, it could skip right over your limit, go all the way down to, say, $37, and then you're stuck with a stock that's still going down. Putting a limit on your stop is very dangerous, and it's definitely not recommended. Now, I saved the stop loss order for last because what I'm going to recommend is totally different from just about everybody else out there that I've seen. How the stop loss order works is you put in an amount lower than your stock's current price, and if it falls down to that level, it triggers a market order and is sold at the next available opportunity. This works to limit your losses so that you don't take too large a loss on a stock that you haven't been watching. In theory, limiting your losses is a very good idea. For example, you might limit yourself at a maximum loss on any transaction of, say, 2% of the value of the transaction. On the plus side, you may be looking to gain, say, 4% on a transaction if the stock goes up. Diligently using a strategy such as this, you can actually lose on more transactions than you win and still make money in the long run. It sounds great and probably works great for day traders that have over $25,000 in their account, are able to make all the day trades they want, and are able to make bracket orders. You see, what a bracket order is putting in both sides of a sell at the same time, something that Robinhood does not allow. See, as of the time that I'm making this video, Robinhood only allows you to have one sell order in place on any given stock at one time. So, for example, you can have a limit sell order in, or you can have a stop loss order in, but you can't have both of them at the same time, as you can on full service online brokers such as Interactive Brokers, for example. Say, for example, you bought a stock for $20 per share on a full service brokerage house. You can at the same time put in a stop loss order at $19 a share and a limit sell order at $22 a share. This is called a bracket order, as previously mentioned. You can put in both sides of your order. You don't have to watch it, and you can go play golf, and everything will be handled for you automatically. But on Robinhood, since we can only do one side of the transaction at a time, then we have to be a little bit more imaginative. And it just so happens that the stop loss feature on Robinhood can be, let's say, a little bit sluggish. And I've gotten some pretty unexpected results using the stop loss. This is why I've decided to stop using it. Whether or not you use the stop loss order, I will leave up to you. Personally, I've had bad experiences with it so far, so I don't like it. Just keep in mind, if like I do, you decide to fly without that safety net and don't put in a stop loss, you really should be watching your stock prices pretty actively. Okay, so that will bring this video to an end and also conclude my special coverage of the Robinhood app itself. My next video will start on the more substantive part of the tutorial, namely, I will go over the strategy I use to decide what stock to buy. If you've made it this far, I know you should be interested in that. So go ahead and click on the button in the lower right-hand corner to see the next video, and I'll see you there.